Oh, I know what you're thinking. Why am I wearing this horrible thing? Oh, this horrible bygone era product. It's because I'm sick, dude. There is no other explanation for why I liked Top Gun Maverick as much as I did, other than I'm a sick man. You heard that right. Top Gun Maverick kind of rules. I'll be forthcoming. I'll be honest. I really enjoyed this movie. I thought this movie was a whole lot of fun. And I don't describe many movies like that because so many people, when they recommend a movie to me, describe it as, it's just a lot of fun. Yeah, you might like it, you might not, but it's just so fun to watch. I go, it's pretty vague there, isn't it, guy? Pretty vague, just it's fun to watch. The action is very simply the best part of this movie because Tom Cruise or whoever decided that it would be much better to put the actors who, this cast is great, by the way, just wanted to say that, stacked up cast, Tom Cruise, Jennifer Connelly, Smoke Show, stack it up, John Hamm, dude, underrated, Miles Teller, don't need him, Glenn Powell, let's just stack this cast up, great cast, but back to the action. Let's get this stacked cast and put them into the action. There's some awesome scenes of these actors flying these planes, or at least in the cockpit of these jets, experiencing the G-forces of flying an F-18 plane. So they're hard diving or inclining, and every time they do, their face is all contorting because of the G's, and they're struggling to stay awake or not throw up. So you get these moments where they're like, we're gonna go down, and we're gonna pull up, and they're pulling up, and they're going, and they can't even talk because the G-forces are so strong, so they're just like,
There's 5 Gs.
You can feel that they're actually experiencing it. And when an audience can be put into a situation with an actor or seeing that the actor is going through it, it's so much more believable. And it's more fun, especially because a lot of this movie is just training scenes. It's just them flying around training. And in any other movie, including and especially the original, that's boring as shit. Just training. The original Top Gun is really boring. It has one of the steamiest sex scenes you can possibly have in a PG-13 movie, which just gets anybody bricked up. I would challenge even Beyonce to watch this sex scene and not get bricked up. It's crazy. But anyway, the movie's really bland, too. Like, Tony Scott directed it, and he's just not a great director. The color grading is bleh. It's, like, vomit-inducing at times. The opening montage is just orange, and I go, bleh, bleh. It's just gross-looking. And then there's not any clarity to what's happening. Why did they go to Top Gun? Okay, because he did this and that. Okay, what's Top Gun? They train the best. So what are they training for? They train the best. But what do they get if they, if they win, if they train the best? They train the best, and they get a name on the wall. It just goes nowhere. It just is like, I'm going to walk into this room, and now I'm going to walk into that room, and I'm going to walk into I'm going to open the fridge 4 times. It's like me when I'm bored. Top Gun is. It's just walking in between rooms and opening the fridge a bunch of times with no motive or reason to it. And then I go lay down in bed and I fall asleep, and there's a motive to that because I'm tired. That's that's what I would describe Top Gun 1 as.
For 5 weeks, you're gonna fly against the best fighter pilots in the world. You guys really are cowboys.
I don't like you because you're unsafe.
That's right. Everything about Top Gun Maverick is better than the original. Everything that worked about the original is better here, and everything that didn't work about the original works here. When I go to see a movie, I'm looking for 3 major things. The godhead, I'll say, of screenplays and movie making. The godhead, which is characters, storytelling, not specifically story, but how you tell the story, and thematics. And honestly, this movie is like 1.5 of those 3, which is much better than I thought it would be. The first Top Gun is none. The storytelling specifically, though, is the one it gets really right. I love watching a movie with a solid frickin' structure. And boy, does this have a solid frickin' structure. I will say, though, the third act gets a little long. I think it's like 40 minutes to spit. He has to figure out how to train these pilots to blow up a uranium deposit in the side of a mountain, or in a mountain. And the way they do it is they have to go through this crazy canyon under 300 feet off the ground, because if they go any higher, they'll get shot down by missiles, and they have to do it in like 2 minutes. And because if they don't, then other planes are going to come get them. Blah, 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 blah. It's basically the trench run of Star Wars. Dangerous, dangerous, dangerous. If you do this, you'll die. If you do that, you'll die. If you do that, you'll die. All these really hyper-specific things they have to do to get the mission, they train to do so they can do it on the mission. So there's a clarity to it that I really enjoyed. In the first Top Gun, they're just training. For what? I don't even know. They're just training. But 2 is so much more clear, it's so much more motivated, and there's actually stakes involved. They really hammer home what will happen if you don't do a specific thing. It's kind of like a heist movie where they have really specific people doing really specific things, and if they get that wrong, then this will happen. That's kind of what this feels like. They're training hyper-specific things. And I love that. And I will also say that that other half that I said of the three things, the Godhead, that it gets right is the characters. The characters actually kind of work in this. The first Top Gun is nobody. Tom Gunn is a pilot who is arrogant, and his arc is that he has to learn to not be such a hothead asshole to everybody. But you know what's bad about that? He ain't likable. So when he's trying to get the girl, you go, run, girl! This guy's crazy! And when he's with his friend Goose, you go, Goose! This guy's crazy! Get away from him! The whole movie. I don't understand why anybody likes him. Tom Cruise is trying to play it like suave and charismatic, but he's neither of those things. I've never seen Tom Cruise as either of those things. He's usually stone-faced action man, and he's good at stone-faced action man. He's not great at heartthrob suave guy. And in Top Gun 1, that's who he's trying to be, so he's always putting on this weird face like... And it does not work because he's not good at that. But in this, he's stone-faced action man. But he's stone-faced action man with an arc. And he has a romance with Jennifer Connelly, who's not a great character. Not that interesting. She's kind of just boring. But anyway, romance, gotta have it. But everybody in this movie has really specific character arcs that I enjoyed too. There's a character called Hangman who has the most fun hat or helmet in this movie, other than Bob. Just saying Bob on the helmet is a ballsy ass move, and I really respect that of Bob. But Hangman is a great helmet. He has a hyper specific arc too, because his name is Hangman. He leaves people hanging, and then in the end, he don't leave people hanging. Character arc, yes sir. And Rooster, he's got a character arc too, because why wouldn't you give Goose's son a character arc? He learns to put his plane into overdrive. He's a little nervous, he's a little rattled, he keeps overthinking things. He's thinking about too much. What if this happens? What if this happens? What if my partner gets left behind? What if I'm going too fast? But then he learns to just, as Tom Cruise would say, not think, but feel. And he puts it into overdrive and he's going real fast. Is that a character arc? I think so. Well done. Well done.
Just want to manage expectations.
What the hell? Good morning, aviators. This is your captain speaking.
It's definitely not Mad Max in terms of its style. The style is solid. The direction is solid. It's better than the original Top Gun. It's not ugly. It's not vomit-inducing color grading. But it's nothing spectacular either. The shots inside the cockpit with these wide IMAX cameras are pretty cool looking. But other than that, the style is pretty, cut and dry. I think he could have done a couple more things with John Hamm's character, who's just like Admiral Man who gets mad, and that's his character. He could have done more with him, I think. You just kind of leave him out to dry. He's just there. He's like a towel that you use after the shower and just throw on the floor. He's just there. He serves a purpose, and then you just get rid of him. A lot of the characters are kind of like that. There's a character named Phoenix, the only woman fighter pilot in this mission. She doesn't really do much either. I think you could have fleshed out a couple more of these characters, especially the ones that are in that third act and have a prominent role in that third act, like Phoenix, like Bob. We needed more Bob. Give me them glasses, boy. Give me a backstory. What is him? What makes him tick? Who is he? Who is Bob? What is Bob? What makes Bob tick? I give it a 7. Solid 7. A lot of fun. For a summer blockbuster, this is something borderline special. I mean, if Tom Cruise wants to keep insisting that actors, including him, do crazy death-defying stunts like he did in Fallout and in this, I'm in.